then getting to. I don't know why you're excited. I don't know.
He cannot speak.
No, I don't know why you're excited. But
I'm struggling.
no,
I remember the last time Kofi had to, struggle with words, and then. Is it because of the Magnificent Seven, 007?
Well, I think that it's been a wonderful week. What made my week? I think that 2 or 3 issues had to kind of make my week. I think that one of the pressing issues had to be the El Clasico. It was really a marker in the course of the week. The El Clasico, Barcelona going to the Bernabeu to do what they did. It shows you how well in leaps and bounds they've grown. And I think that was quite magnificent. And then one of the other features of the weekend had to be Arsenal defying the odds. Arsenal defying the odds. They kept coming back. They keep coming back. They want to make me a laughing stock. You understand? I do not know why, but Arsenal are bent on making me a laughing stock. But listen.
We'll delve deep into that.
We'll delve deep into that. But I think that preliminary comments, whatever plans and machinations they do have, it will not materialize. Whatever plans and machinations they do have, it's not going to materialize. I mean, so these are preliminary comments we'll probably come back for.
I will say good evening. Because, you see, I'm surrounded by, you know what I'm saying, United fans. You know what I mean. Okay, you know what I mean. Percy will not want to come out. He's like that political, foot soldier who is scared to let everybody know where he stands. But then when his party is in power, when he's enjoying.
I don't even know what you are talking about.
How's your week been? Quick one.
It's been very, very awesome.
But Percy looks very sad. I mean,
he has that.
Why am I sad? Oh, I've had
sad.
No, it's
He's
a tiring
sad
weekend.
man.
It's not a sad weekend.
Okay.
It's been a wonderful weekend. Very wonderful. I don't know what you were expecting from me again, apart from me saying it's wonderful. Were you expecting anything?
Highlight throughout the week.
Highlight throughout the week. I'm on vacation, so resting.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Vacation. So quickly, let's start off from the local league. So Accra to Folk this afternoon, welcome Kumasi Atlantic Kotoko at the Accra Sports Stadium, and they ended up beating Kotoko by a goal to 0. Goal coming, from Caleb Amankwa. But it wasn't so much about, the game. It was about the controversies that surrounded the game. The FA and Galka deciding that, okay, the President's Cup is here because this match is almost here. Why don't we, it's a league match, but why don't we target the President's Cup? First time I'm hearing it. I mean, it doesn't make sense. There are a lot of issues. Others feel, I am of the opinion that, listen, do we even should it always be about Accra to Folk and Kumasi Asante Kotoko? And even before the season started, you plan ahead. You knew exactly this game will be played at this particular date. 6th of March or 5th March will fall on this particular day. So in planning, you should factor in all of that, where you do not probably have to, because that was not the agreement before. I think they agreed a couple of weeks ago that, okay, hey, guys, this is the whole thing. Then, I think hours ago, they were taking gate fee, but they realized that, okay, why don't we decide to make it free? So I think an hour to the game, they decided to make it free entry for everybody, even that the stadium was not filled. 2 of the biggest clubs in the world. The FA, we know. In Ghana. The FA, prior to the commencement of the league, had allocated $1 million. That's not chicken change. For just marketing. Let's look at this particular game in relation to our league. What is happening to the Ghana Premier League?
Let me not spend a lot of time on this particular issue. I think that there are more important things to talk about.
But this is our league. We need to talk about this league.
I mean, this is not my league. Clearly,
because for me, it's disappointing.
Hold on. This is clearly not my league. Because if you were my league, I wouldn't allow them to implement some of the things they are implementing. And forgive me if I may sound a bit, if my French is a bit too pronounced. I think we are silly. I think we're a silly republic. We keep going back and back and back, and we do not seem to be doing what exactly is ought to be done. One, see, you want to talk about who runs the FA, who runs GFA, who runs the league, and yes, we are looking at taking steps to make sure that the people who run the league are independent. You understand? So we want to adapt a model like the EPL. We want to adapt a model like how the South Africans run their league. So we are looking at a model, but as it is now, it's not been fully implemented. Truth of the matter is that Keto Kreku, he is, I am struggling to find the right diplomatic word,
because there are no right diplomatic words to describe how his administration has managed this league in terms of being able to run an effective league. Very little attention has been paid to this league. There's very little marketing that has gone to this league.
You know why? I start off with the premise that Keto Kreku is the worst FA president
that I would agree
in the
with
history
you.
of Ghana, probably of even FA president yet to come. I think that the standard the standard that he set for himself, I do not think anybody can go any lower than that. So probably in the unforeseen future, if you're talking about
SI unit for failure.
Yes, he's an SI unit for failure, basically. And you see, this is somebody who wrote on the principles of transparency. I've told people that go back and look at his 7 pillars of whatever he set out to.
Pillars of Islam.
Yes, I don't want to talk about the pillars of Islam. You understand? Go back and look at the pillars that he rode into power with. Then grant a proper introspection into those pillars. You'd realize that with regards almost all of the pillars, he's failed.
That's
true. It is very disappointing because this is a man who rode into office with a reputation. He is one of the few guys to have run football and taken it to the next level with Dreams FC. So everybody thought that, oh, okay, this is somebody who has virtually transformed the club side, has made them the creme de la creme. I mean, in terms of marketing, in terms of outlook, in terms of perspective, in terms of wanting a spotlight for themselves. You understand? This is somebody who made Dreams SC very, very successful, and they were the delight, or they were one of the entities in the local league that were the SI unit of everything good that we want to see our teams do. So this is a man who rode into office with that kind of reputation. Question: has he transformed that reputation into the office he's running now? A big no. Number 3. I do not want to even talk about the nonsense of the FA Cup, of the President's Cup, whatever it is. You understand? I mean, whatever it is, the President's Cup. First of all, it must be put on record that Galka is a welfare body. You understand? So Galka, this is who they are. They are a welfare body. They are supposed to take care of the league players and all of those other that thing. So Galka really does not have a lot of jurisdiction. You understand? When it comes to the main linchpins in Ghana football. But you talked about timing. You talked about planning. First of all, that the president had to go to the stadium. Game had to be postponed from 3 p.m. to 3:30. That is a big no. That's a big no. You see, if the people who run our football were top of their game, they would not even fix that fixture where it ought to be fixed. That fixture would have been playing by now. You understand? Because obviously, you do not expect me to leave the comfort of my couch and then run into a stadium where I am guaranteed of nothing. The football is close to a non-entity. I'm guaranteed of nothing. Yes, exactly the point. So
the two glamorous clubs in Ghana.
But I ask myself one simple question: do we need to play the President's Cup? I mean, has it become too relevant in our calendar? Do we still need to hold on to those antiques? Do we still need to factor our planning around those things? I mean, come on. I mean, if you did a poll on the streets right now, there are many people who will tell you that why should we even play a game for the president? I mean, why should we play the game for the president?
I'll take Percy's comments, but guys, what do you make of this whole brouhaha and this whole, for me, a joke or a comic of an organization from the Ghana Football Association and GACA, and even, I do not know if the planning went all the way to the presidency or not. What do you make of this? Do you think that this game should have been played today? Because most people actually think that, one, the President's Cup has lost some, relevance. And if you look at the terrain, you look at the system, do we even have to play this game? What do you make of it? Was there the need to play this game? We're looking at the Accra Tifo game, Kumasi Asante Kotoko, the brouhaha surrounding it. We want to know your views about this whole game. Some people think that, hey, they are the two biggest clubs in the country. This game had to be played. Forget about whether there was, United, Liverpool, Barcelona, Valencia, and everything. It wasn't even on, national TV to talk about and all of that. What do you make of the game? Want to know from you. I'll be reading your comment very soon. Percy will be taking your comments. Kofi will be taking your comment very soon. But we want to know your views on the Ghana Premier League that happened this afternoon between Kumasi Asante Kotoko and Accra Tifo. The game happened. Hearts beat Kotoko by a 1-0. Goal scored by Caleb Amankwa. Percy, this whole more or less fiasco for me of an organization, poor planning and everything. Do you think it's high time the FA detaches itself from the organization of the league? Because truth be told, I am yet to see anything relevant the Ghana Football Association has added to the organization of the league. Because whenever the FA is mentioned, for me the only thing that comes into my head are the national teams, Black Stars, Black Majors, and all of that. I do not see anything relevant in terms of moving our league from where it was to where we expect our league to be. Do you think it's high time we adopt the Premier League model where the teams put up a body, where they run the league professionally, detached of the FA's involvement? Because the FA literally has done.
The league is not run professionally.
Oh, but this is not a professional league. Come on.
It's like you asked the question and answered it yourself. But with whatever Kofi said, listen, in fact, I don't know if Kofi was of the view that the time should have been changed. Listen, it is the relevance of your league that will tell you when to fix your time to whichever sporting event is going on. 2004, I'm just taking 2004, Hearts versus Kotoko. No, let me go a bit. Let's say 2002, Hearts versus Kotoko. That was the home game. Yeah. The one that Isaac Boachi scored 2 goals. Yeah. If you remember that game very well. As at that time, I don't. If you ask the 90s, those who were just born in the 90s, at Asa then, what was El Clasico? I'm not sure any of us was even aware of if there was anything like a Clasico.
Truth be told, from 2000 through to somewhere around 2009, 2010,
there was nothing like that.
We had our level of football in terms of the Ghana Premier League was very, very, very good. Development, I know, is supposed to be progressive, but when it comes to Ghana football, development is a bit more progressive.
Well, I share a different opinion. I don't think that it has to be the marker, because 2004, how many people had the luxury to afford DSTV and digital TV? No, I mean,
run from our homes
hold on,
to pubs to watch football.
No, hold on. The amount of digital TV in the system now and the access to it, I don't think that we can equal it. Yes, I mean,
the quality of football.
No, people did not have a choice then.
No, Kofi.
No,
at least we have lived in those areas.
I don't think people are.
And I can I can confidently compare the football I saw between Accra Tifo and Kumasi Asante Kotoko in that CAF Confederation Cup final. I am yet to see any in the last 5 years any Kotoko game played to that highest level compared to that game.
Well, I
in
think
terms of the quality,
well, I think
and even the players back then.
I think it was all hype.
Tell me, we hail Mudasiru. Can Mudasiru be compared to Gordon Ablodi? I've seen Baba Amando play. I'm yet to see any quality. Produce any quality that can liken himself to Baba Amando.
Oh, come on, Baba Amando was
or even Charles Taylor.
Oh, come on. I mean, you can mention Charles Taylor, but Baba Amando, no. Baba Amando,
our
no.
league has retrogressed to a level that is beyond recognition.
Oh, come on.
Listen, name one striker in the last 5 seasons, 10 years that can be compared to Ismailado. A striker of the quality and ilk of Ismailado.
But last season, Kotoko's Cameroonian imports.
Please,
Mbella. I mean,
don't even compare Mbella to Ismailado. The level of intelligence with which Ismailado played the game.
You see,
Oseko of Hattiful.
You see, you are letting us delve into realms that you cannot defend.
I can list a plethora of players. Viewers,
Ismailado
I can list a plethora of players that played in the 90s, in the 2000s, the late 2000s.
You want to mention Oseko for fine.
Listen, we hail
Ismailado intelligence.
See, we hail mediocrity in this era. I can tell you for a fact.
Ismailado was a black Inzaghi.
We glorify
black Filippo Inzaghi.
We glorify
maybe a lower version of
this era.
Filippo Inzaghi.
Because Kofi, truth be told, I keep telling myself, listen, like I said, development is supposed to be progressive. I was thinking that the game I saw in the 2000s, by now, we should be seeing 10 times that level of play. But as we speak, our game has retrogressed. Listen.
Now let me ask you a simple
question. When was the last time a striker in the Ghana Premier League, take Mbella, he's not even a Ghanaian, he's a Cameroonian. A striker, a Ghanaian player in the Ghana Premier League scored 22, 23, 25 Premier League goals.
No, but hold on.
Even back then, how many teams were playing the league?
No, 16. hold on.
How many teams are playing now?
18.
How many games did they play back then?
There are
a lot of things that we expect a lot of improvement, but now has gone down.
Let me ask you a simple question. Kufuor was president in 2000.
Are we talking about
hold on. Kufuor, John Ajekum Kufuor was president in 2000. Yes, Shaq. He's Ghana. 2023.
Yes.
You think we are at the same level?
Yeah, we can make that argument. And so I'm not here to talk about...
All I am telling you is that you would need to appreciate the issue contextually.
But you see, that's a totally, it's like comparing oranges and apples. Listen, we are talking about football. Money back then, now there's more money in the Premier League. There's more sponsorship in the Premier League. Back then, how much did at that time it was ABC Premier League, right? Yeah. How much did ABC pump into the league? Exactly. But now our league is supposed to be exposed in terms of digital exposure, online exposure. There are millions of dollars being pumped into the league. There are lots of sponsors. Hearts are receiving more sponsorship than they did back then. Up till now, Hearts are yet to have what is it called? But for Toby, the Pobiman is almost 90% completed. Look at this. A club of the ilk of Accra Hearts of Folk, a club of the ilk of Kumasi Asante Kotoko, they do not have world-class facilities as we speak. With clubs like King Faisal should be able to walk to Kotoko's facilities and use them, but there's nothing to use. So let's agree that our game has deteriorated, gone down the drain, because those who are supposed to handle the game are not handling the game like Percy.
Well, I agree with you. I mean, I think that, listen, if you want our game to progress, if you want our game to move to the next level, are you prepared to go into football management?
Are you? Those who are willing to hold
on. No, are you willing to run football in this country?
I am not willing to, because I have other things to do.
Exactly.
I am contributing.
No, let me tell you.
We are using Sports 101 to contribute to the development of the game.
Beautiful. One of the biggest issues with Ghana football is that there are a lot of square pegs in round holes.
Would you go into the management of football in Ghana if given the opportunity?
No, I wouldn't go into it.
Why?
One because it's more like it's like pouring water into the sand on the sea and expecting it to flood. Because Ghana's football has gotten to the level that I need to be an apparatchik in should I say in money. I need to put a lot of money for a very long time, expecting great loss, very great loss for a very long time before, if I will reap, I would.
Percy, lots of comments coming from our comment section. Kofi, you take the first batch of comments. Oh, wow. Lots of super stickers coming in there. We appreciate all the support. Kofi?
Yes.
Yes, Mautisu no mushoweni. Mautisu no mushoweni. Take the first batch of comments
after,
there.
After 7, I mean, how can you raise your head? After 7, how can you raise your head? I mean, you see, the Bible talks about a lifting up.
so you need divine help to lift you up.
This definitely needs a lifting up. But let me take some of the comments. Roderick Fiajo says the set, look up. Charlie, I'm looking up. I need a lifting up. I mean, Lawton Dazi says, set, I'll be market. Charlie, markets, good cry. Roderick comes back to say, raise your head small, kakra. Oh, Charlie. Yohani Abuadi says, tell Kofi that he shouldn't tell us stories. He is there because he supports a women's team from Nana Abuajisef. Oh, Nana Abuajisef. This is from Brass Sami. Brass Sami sends us a super sticker, a £5 super sticker.
Love you guys.
Thank you so much, Brass Sami. Zongo Media says, Ganesh GPL is dead. Emmanuel Odum says, Man United, how far? Then Christensen Kojo Arthur comes around to send us another super sticker. That's beautiful. $5 Canadian. Thank you, Christensen. The Ghana Premier League is in shambles. That's what somebody else goes on to say. I think that so far that should be it. People are enjoying the show. And we would also want to encourage our listeners on Tadi FM, Tadi 99.1 FM, to keep sending those WhatsApp messages.
So, Percy, put out the WhatsApp number so that those listening to us on Tadi FM, 99.1 FM, can join in the conversation, because I'm sure Kofi wants us to believe that, listen, the game now is better than the game back then. We've produced players now that are better than players back then. Come on, that's not even an argument we should start. But guys, what do you think? In our game, have you seen develop in terms of the quality of players that have been produced? I am of the view that, listen, if we go back to the 2000s, up until somewhere around 2009, 2010, the level of quality we saw in our league in terms of player production, this current, crop of players cannot be compared to the players we are seeing now. What do you make of it? Let's get to hear from you. Percy, the WhatsApp line.
The WhatsApp line is 0242 145 249.
0242 145 249. That's the WhatsApp line. You can send us a WhatsApp message if you are listening on Tadi FM 99.1 FM. And wherever you're doing the listening for, it could be in Accra listening to us, Takwa, wherever you're doing the listening, we want to hear from you. And if you text us, you can add where you're doing the listening from. We will give you a shout out. We are also live on YouTube. This is Sports 101 on YouTube. If not subscribed, make sure you subscribe to Sports 101. But quickly, during the week, the FIFA Awards took place. I want to start with you, Percy. There's been a lot of controversies on the FIFA Awards, but then I hold my own personal views on the FIFA Awards. We know who took home the biggest prize, Lionel Messi. Any takeaways from the awards? Then we'll come back to, I don't know if you saw Benzema's post on Instagram. I'll put out those numbers and I will challenge those numbers with Lionel Messi's numbers in 2018, 2016 when he lost out in terms of the awards. But then what do you make of the entire awards?
Okay, it affirmed the whole narrative that it's a popularity contest, which lost its relevance a very long time ago.
Why?
Very long time ago, because it was a mockery. It's an award that we went to knowing who would win what based on popular opinion. We knew. Everyone was aware.
Why?
Everyone was aware. We are aware of the fact that, of course, it's obvious that if that season, if it is Ronaldo or Messi who wins the trophy, they win the award. If they don't win the trophy, we look at their goals and we give it to them. And the only time that you had, of course, Ronaldo winning the trophy and winning and scoring most number of goals, that he wasn't able to win, it was because he has left the fold of the empire that will make you win, which is Real Madrid in 2018, which is so obvious.
So why didn't Benzema win? Because Benzema. Benzema plays for Real Madrid.
You hear what I said? I said when the two of them win the trophy, they win. If they don't win, then that year we are like, okay, we are not going to talk about the trophies. We will talk about their individual achievements, which has to do with
Lionel Messi deserving of the awards.
I'm coming. I want us to take her from somewhere, so that it will make us understand this whole thing. Yeah. There were a lot of people making us then Ballon d'Or and FIFA Best and whatever. Listen, the award has been confusing, and I will just use about a minute or maybe a minute and a half to explain. There was nothing like FIFA Best from 1956 to 1990. It was some journalists somewhere in France football, who were trying to vote and pick out their best player in Europe, an European player playing in Europe. So they started with Stanley Matthews. Mm-hmm. They came through, so all the winners that were winning were people that were Europeans playing in Europe. So Pele missed out. You had Maradona missing out.
So what the reason they changed the award was because that the year
had to so win. FIFA had no award. The only award FIFA had was the Golden Ball at FIFA World Best or at FIFA World Cup. So in 1990, after the World Cup in 1990, the narrative changed. FIFA were like, okay, the award is always going for, there's an award for European players playing in Europe. So why don't we take one that will be like, okay, every player in the world. Then they started. Then the first recipient was Lothar Matthäus. And so it started that narrative that it is if it is a work, because Lothar Matthäus won it because a season before he had won the World Cup, and it was the World. So it started with the narrative that when you win the World Cup, obviously it should be the world best.
Was the narrative started by the notion of people, or that was the criteria FIFA put out? Because we need to educate very well.
I'm saying that the narrative
by who?
By popular opinion.
Okay.
Not FIFA.
Okay.
But popular opinion.
Okay.
This is word of knowledge.
Okay.
So it started from there. So 91, 92 went through. 1994. What did Romario do? Yeah. Romario was in a Barcelona team that were mauled by AC Milan. They killed them. But he came to the World Cup with Brazil. And they excelled. And Romario was the world best.
Romario Bebe too.
I'm coming. People won the World Cup, and 97, 98. Who was better than Nazario de Lima? That was his first season at Inter Milan. Why did Jack start? Zidane was nowhere near. They came into the World Cup. Zidane started first match. Second match, he had a red card. He was out. He didn't play anything relevant in the World Cup. I'm coming. I want to make a point. After you can ask your questions.
Okay.
Then we go to the final. He scores 2 goals, and Zidane is the world best. Mm-hmm. Nazario de Lima goes on injury for 2 years. Mm-hmm. And out of that, you had, Figo winning. You also had Rivaldo winning. He comes back 2 years of not playing football.
With a haircut.
Yeah. And in 2002, he plays 8 matches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
He's the world best.
And he's the world best. Okay, then we continue.
Absolutely.
People win the world. You had Zidane winning 2003. Absolutely. You had Ronaldinho winning 2004. Ronaldinho himself winning 2005. 2006. Who was Cannavaro? See, 2006, the world best should have been Ronaldinho again. Because he took Barcelona, who had not won the Champions League from 1992 or 93 till that time, just because the final he didn't perform, and just because Brazil left out. And obviously, we knew the person they would have given it to would have been Zidane. But obviously, Zidane was out because of what he did. And out of the blue, Cannavaro wins. 2010, we get to the World Cup. Everybody is aware that if you want to give the world best to whoever, the person that was given the award to had a teammate who had won the same number of trophies, had also gone the extra to the World Cup to win the World Cup. And this time we're like, oh no, that narrative has changed. No, now the narrative was that Messi has broken the record of Nazario de Lima of the highest number of goals scored in Barcelona, because it was 47, it was 45, and he made it 47. So Messi the world best, and everybody started getting confused. 2014, this was a German team that had a previous season had almost half of their players have won a treble. In fact, a quintuple, 5 trophies. Then they come in. They had won their league, won their DFB Pokal, and they get to the World Cup, and they have, this is a team that if you want even you want to give the golden ball, first, second, third should have been them. And you have Neuer, you have Müller, you had Arjen Robben who went to the final, and the world best comes on like, Cristiano Ronaldo went to the final. He came and he won the La Decima, and he scored 17 goals, the highest number of goals in Champions League. So we should give it to him. What is that? Then we get to 2018. Okay, if this is what Ronaldo does, then 2018 Ronaldo has won another Champions League. What do you call it? Treble, 1, 2, 3, tripit. So winning it, and then obviously whatever happens. Then we hear that Ronaldo has left Real Madrid. He leaves Real Madrid, and the first award that comes up, UEFA Best, all of a sudden, the Modric, in fact, the UEFA Best is actually for performance in Europe. And in Europe, who won the Ultimate? Real Madrid. Who was the best player? Obviously, it was Cristiano Ronaldo. And before he realized, he had lost it. And Ballon d'Or, he loses it. And this time, it has changed that, okay, Modric won the Golden Ball. How many Golden Ball winners won the World Best? How many Golden Ball? So I'm trying to tell you that they have confused themselves. They, FIFA, have confused themselves. Okay. Have confused we the people. In fact, there were sometimes, we were just captains. Now they say captains and, what do you call it? I want to get, now captains and managers. Now captains, coaches, journalists. Now they are made it captains, coaches, journalists, and fans. So if fans, who has more fans than Messi and Ronaldo? Lewandowski, he is the most unfortunate person. He's lucky he's won it twice. So this FIFA Best, at least between the two, the FIFA and the Ballon d'Or, the reason why Ballon d'Or decided to just, they realized that, Charlie, merging with these guys, we are losing credibility.
Charlie. It's okay.
We are losing credibility.
I am a disciple.
So you see how they do this. You see how they do this.
No, Percy, I'm a
look at what they did between that of Benzema and that of Messi.
I don't think you
they did not look.
Can
See, they have spelled their criteria clear. Ballon d'Or. See, Ballon d'Or. Although now they brought everyone in, but there's not like fans in Ballon d'Or. Yeah. They have spelled their criteria clearly. Your individual performance and what you did with your club. So if you check the Ballon, there is very little conspiracy and very little any bad thing to talk about. Talk of from Stanley Matthews to the last person. If you talk of probably even Modric or maybe a few discrepancies, but with that of World Best, I've given you about 4 years of the time that they've given their World Best, which has made it so inconsistent. So for me, it is a luta continua.
I think I'm a disciple.
That's a deja vu.
Listen,
guys,
I don't think you have any questions.
Actually, I
don't think so.
You see, guys, everything that Percy has said, there are a lot of inconsistencies.
No, there are no inconsistencies.
One, this is my take,
okay.
And I think that a lot of people are being too harsh on FIFA. A lot of people are being too harsh on the authorities that actually award these individual players over the years.
No, but let me ask you one simple question before you come in. Why do you allow fans to vote for who has to be the best player in the world?
That is FIFA's prerogative.
No, but you being a technical person, you being a person of authority when it comes to football.
I feel that. Listen,
why do
I feel that allowing fans to vote might.
Do you think it desaturates the whole process?
I think that in a way it does.
Yes.
But the point I'm trying to make here is, FIFA has its category there. They have their stipulated, what is it called? Rules with which these awards are given. Percy said by popular opinion. So whoever coined that popular opinion, nobody knows, because journalists, fans, who most of them are ill-informed, think that the award is given to people, especially in World Cup seasons, those who perform very well in the World Cup or those who win the World Cup. FIFA prioritizes it, and absolutely there's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with that. FIFA has said, okay, in the calendar year, which is the year where the biggest game in world football is played, let's give priority to that game. And there's absolutely...
So that's 8 matches.
That should be a criteria with which you can award a player. Because if
why is there the golden ball?
I'm coming.
The golden ball is for
I'm
that.
coming. If UEFA in his own wisdom, believes that, okay, in a calendar year where the Champions League and other leagues under my jurisdiction is played, I need to factor in the Champions League performances in the Champions League and all of that. Why shouldn't FIFA, one, also say that in a year, because the World Cup is played in 4 years. Percy, in his analysis, has forgotten that in between those 4 years, there were lapses where other players won. He didn't talk about that, but almost all his issues and qualms were in the years that the World Cup was played. I
was trying to make a point there.
But so the point
I could have talked about that.
In order to diffuse what you have said, FIFA is saying that in the year, all other years, I put together all the other categories. But in the year with which the World Cup, which is arguably the biggest football tournament in the world, not even the Champions League can be compared to the World Cup in terms of its frenzy and its quality. Listen, the World Cup pitched together the best of the best. Some of the biggest players in the world, puts them together under one roof, plays countless games, and out of that you get 1 or 2 players coming out. The truth of the matter is, in 2002, can you question Ronaldo deserving of the FIFA World Best? Somebody should come and tell me that I'm coming. You see, let me finish making my point. I'll come to you. I'm coming to you. In 2002, fans, those who live to watch, I watched that game. I ran from JSTS, jumped the wall, went to Type C to watch all the games. Listen, in 2002, somebody should question who deserved the Ballon d'Or, the FIFA World Best more than Ronaldo. One of the reasons why, listen, Ronaldo, how many goals did he score in that tournament? 8. That tournament literally propelled him, but for in 2016, the goals that he added, which made him the all-time leading goal scorer before, what's his name? In 2006, before Closer came to break that record. That tournament, he scored 8 goals, the highest in God knows how long of a FIFA World Cup. And not just the goals that Ronaldo scored. Ronaldo was the reason why Brazil won that tournament, literally. And let's not forget that this is a player who had come from injury. 2 years. How many players come back from injury after 2 years to play the kind of football that Ronaldo has played? Now, my issue here is, I do not, what is it called? Percy has made fantastic point. My point is, the 4-year lapses that there was no World Cup, did we question who deserved the award when FIFA gave that award out? Very few people had questions, but people always have questions when there is a World Cup here. FIFA has said, I am prioritizing my biggest event, and I think that there's nothing wrong with it. Now, finally, before Kofi comes in, let me run by you some figures where I think that people, make arguments when it suits them better. Now, in 2018, this was Lionel Messi's numbers: 58 games, 54 games, 51 goals, 26 assists, 3 major trophies, 4 honors. The one who won it. Are you listening?
1-4-0.
The one who won it. The one who won it in listen to this. Nobody made qualms about it. The one who won it in Luka Modric. 42 games, 4 goals, 10 assists, 2 trophies, 4 honors. Everybody thinks that, he deserves it. Even look at the guy who placed second. Lionel Messi was out of the top 5, top 4. The guy who placed second, Cristiano Ronaldo, 53 games, 49 goals, 13 assists, 2 trophies, 2 major honors. Lionel Messi had 51 games out of 54, 26 assists, 3 trophies, 4 honors, bettering everything that all these guys did, including Antoine Griezmann, who was 3rd, Kylian Mbappe, who was 4th. Lionel Messi was 5th. Nobody talked about it. Now, in 2016, these are the numbers. Lionel Messi, 59 goals, 31 assists in 62 appearances. Yet, he didn't win the award. Nobody talked about it. I think that we are blaming Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo for their incredible and outrageous amount of quality. Let's not blame them, because FIFA has stated categorically, in a World Cup year, I will prioritize my major tournament. Is that a problem, Kofi?
Well, I don't have any problem with the numbers that you have stated or some of the arguments that you've gone on to make. I want to ask a simple question. In the chest-ended World Cup, listen, I will be absolutely surprised for anybody who watched the just ended World Cup to tell me Lionel Messi was the best player in that tournament.
Kofi,
No way. Hold on. Come on. Can I finish? I do not think Lionel Messi was a better player, and I'll go on and mention names. I do not think he was a better player than Kylian Mbappe. I do not think by any stretch or by any imagination. I do not think he was a better player than Kylian Mbappe. It was clear in that World Cup that we just saw. I mean, come on. I mean, listen. Somebody wins the World Cup playing as many as 6-7 penalties. Is that the standard? Is that what we want to portray to the rest of the world? Even in the final game, for people who were neutrals, one name rank all throughout the neutrals. It was Kylian Mbappe. He stole the show on that day. He owned the turf on that particular day. I mean, come on. I mean, yes, you can have the luck of, and you know that Argentina won the World Cup. They solicited for the help of witches and wizards. I mean, this is this is public knowledge. This is public knowledge. I mean, the witches in Argentina and all around the world had to do a collaboration together. They solicited for the help of witches and wizards to win the World Cup. That's fine. But to tell me that you watched the World Cup and that Lionel Messi was the best player in that World Cup, there's no truth in football. Absolutely no truth in football.
You think Lionel Messi wasn't? I feel Lionel Messi was. Listen, in the final, take away those. Kylian Mbappe was missing close to about 70 minutes. Pops up, scores 3 goals. All of a sudden, we show him. Lionel Messi literally, if you watch that final, Lionel Messi literally carried Argentina in that final. Lionel Messi, in terms of playing football, you see, football is not just about putting goals at the back of the net. Somebody should tell me in that final, apart from Kylian Mbappe popping up to score those 3 goals, he was missing close to about almost 80th minute of the game. Let me finish. Let me make my point. I like to make your point.
You have made a lot of talk. Listen, don't kid yourself. Truth of the matter is that Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo are who they are because of the insane number of goals they score. It's the end of the story. They are not better than anybody. Lionel Messi was never a better player than Andres Iniesta in terms of pure skill.
Listen,
in terms of talent, I am telling you that Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo have risen to prominence because of the insane number.
Maybe Cristiano Ronaldo, not Lionel Messi.
But what is football? When you talk about football, when you talk about football, what is football?
All of the major records in the history of the Champions League. Who owns it?
That's Cristiano Ronaldo.
So what are you talking about?
My point is,
he has the most goals. He has the most assists.
That's true. The point I'm trying to make is, if Kofi sits on this show, Sports 101, the best show. I'm sure you guys are loving the discourse. Kofi sits on this show, and Kofi,
we are transmitting live
on Tadi FM 99.1 FM. Guys, keep the super stickers coming. It's very important, and I'm sure you're loving it every little bit. You can share the link as well. Share the link and let us know your opinion on everything that we are talking about. Subscribe as well. Send a link to friends. Tell them to subscribe to Sports 101. These are some of the quality content you get. You don't get this anywhere, only on Sports 101. My point I'm trying to make here is, if Kofi is telling me that Lionel Messi is who he is because of the goals he has scored, oh, come on. Maybe Cristiano Ronaldo. Don't bring in Lionel Messi, because see, the kind of football I have seen Lionel Messi play, and the kind of football I have seen players play over the years. At least I am hitting my 40, and I can tell you I've watched a lot of football. Very few players come close. Why do you think that in the debate, I always tell people that in the debate of the greatest of all time, and if listeners will be fair, there's always been 3 names that have popped up.
Oh, please, don't go there.
In the debate of the greatest of all time, there's been Pele, there's been Maradona, and there's been who? There's Lionel Messi. The point I'm trying to make here is, Messi deserves the award, and a lot of people can raise qualms and all of it about it, but Messi deserves the award. Let me take some comments that have come from our YouTube channel, and I'm sure guys are loving the discussion. But if you're watching us on YouTube, if you're listening to us on Tadi FM 99.1 FM, share the link as well. It's very important to share the link. Let me take these few comments. that have come with those. Zongo Media says with those fake penalties throughout the tournament, Messi didn't deserve the world best. Who deserved it? Because if penalties are not part of the game, FIFA will not, add to it. Let me take this one. George Pamford says, I'm not feeling so well, but Messi is FIFA's lapdog. Interesting. Lots of super stickers that are coming from Yaklu. Thank you so much, for the super sticker. Zongo Media, thank you so much for the super sticker. VP Reality says that the FA president is utterly disgraceful, talking about the Ghana Premier League. So guys, keep your comments coming in the comment section. So we are running a poll, right? Or there's a question: did Messi deserve the Ballon d'Or award? I am
not
of the
Ballon
view
d'Or,
that
FIFA best.
FIFA best award. I'm of view that Messi deserved it. Kofi and Percy believe that, listen, they don't deserve it and they are there because of their name. But let's switch. This is where the discussion becomes very interesting. So the weekend, for me, this has been one of my best weekends in terms of football action. I'll start off with Arsenal. Listen, Arsenal for me put up a performance that are deserving of champions, and this is why I say so. If you watch the game, and Kofi has admitted, during the intro, that Arsenal want to put him to shame because he's seen the performance that Arsenal are putting up week in, week out. A week before this game, they won a game against Aston Villa, arguably almost in the 90th minute. Then they come up against Bournemouth. Everybody thought that, listen, this is Bournemouth who are struggling, battling with relegation and all of that. Billing and all these guys pull up a surprise, and Arsenal relentlessly put on the pressure. They didn't stop. They kept piling the pressure, came back from 2 goals down. It was 2-2. The 97th minute. What's the name of the young chap? The guy who scored the goal? Nelson, an Arsenal boy, comes up with a winner. I feel that, listen, that attitude and that mentality is something I have not seen of Arsenal players in a long while, because I think that's all about the 95th, 96th minute. If it was the Arsenal of old, the level of pressure or intensity they put up on Bournemouth would have reduced. But if you look at this particular Arsenal side, they were hungrier on the day. They wanted the win. You could see that they wanted the win. And even when they had gone 2 goals down, they still believed that, listen, we can claw back, and they did claw back. Kofi, what do you make of that game? Let's first look at the mentality of this Arsenal side. For me, I feel it's the mentality of champions.
Well, we don't deal with your feelings on this
show.
Oh,
but you admitted subtly that Arsenal want to put you to shame.
I'm saying that we don't deal with your feelings on this show. We deal with the reality. And so, what you feel, obviously you disagree.
So you think in reality Arsenal did not put up a performance deserving of what you feel?
If you're wanting to be champions, you do not.
This is what you do. Hold on. If you're wanting to be champions, this is what you do.
Hold on. If you're wanting to be champions, you don't allow yourself to expend this energy on Bournemouth.
We'll come there. I record this comment.
Listen, for all the teams that have won the league in the past, you do not want Bournemouth to come to the Emirates and misbehave the manner they did. No, yes. We are all happy Arsenal had to come back, but they had to come back at a cost. Now, they get to expend more energy because ideally for this game, what I'm sure Arteta wanted was that after 65 minutes, take off your most influential players, have a rest, because listen,
why?
You need to realize that the Europa League's games are starting to come thick and fast. And Arsenal is not one of the teams that is blessed with a lot of squad depth.
You continue. Let me ask you a simple question. In your honest opinion, looking at where Arteta finds himself, you think he will prioritize the Europa League above the Premier League now?
Well, I don't know.
In all honesty,
I don't know what he
because
thinks now.
There's no certainty that he would win the Europa League, but there is close to about 60% certainty that because they have a 5-point lead.
No, listen. You have a 5-point lead, but then you have to play against City. at the Etihad. You understand?
That's
so
not even an
then
issue.
you have, no,
That's not even an issue.
but
Realistically, Arsenal feel they can win the league more than they can win the Europa League. Realistically.
That's why I've told you that we do not deal with your reality.
Realistically.
You understand? We do not deal with
then
your
don't tell
reality.
Arteta what to do.
Exactly. I am not here to tell Arteta what to
But
do.
you are saying that you
I am here to tell you that champions do not put up that showing they did against Bournemouth.
Okay.
You understand? City will not allow Bournemouth to come to the Etihad and misbehave in the manner they did.
City were beaten by Brentford at home the last games before the World Cup 2-0. In that same 2 weeks before, City were beaten by a team came to Etihad to beat them. They had lost 2 games. What is it called? In the space of 4 weeks.
That's fine.
Brentford beat them 2-0 a week before they went to the World Cup.
You see,
so that argument is muted.
This is yesterday's victory by Arsenal. Very impressive. I will not sit here and say it was not impressive. I think it was very impressive by Arsenal. It showed a lot of mental strength, but I am saying that it came at a cost.
What's the cost?
One, Trossard got off injured.
Yeah.
Trossard got off injured, and the truth of the matter is that if you look at Trossard, and in the recent past, what Arteta has tried to do is that he's tried to alternate playing Nketiah and Trossard in that number 9 role. Now Trossard has put in magnificent performances in the game that they had to win at Aston Villa, and subsequently in one of the games that I think it was against Leicester where Martinelli had to score that goal.
Exactly.
Trossard was very influential, and even before he went off injured yesterday, quite influential. So Trossard is injured. Then, number 2, we all saw guys like Saka, we all saw guys like Odegaard, we saw Tomiyasu, we saw Ben White, we saw Gabriel, we saw Saliba, my friend.
Yeah,
you understand?
yeah, Saliba,
We've seen all of them.
Saliba.
The truth of the matter is that I am saying that ideally, if you look at the fixture list, and you see, if you doubt what I tell you, go and look at the last 5 fixtures of Arsenal before the season ends. Blockbuster. Maybe the producer will pull it out for you.
Know.
I am saying that.
I know.
I am saying that. Do not allow yourself to get into this position before you have to expend a lot of energy. Because listen, yesterday's win came at a mental cost. It came at running a lot of kilometers on the odometer. You understand? I mean, I do not think that this is the sort of game Arteta envisaged. Yes, he got a 3 point. Yes, it's admirable. But I am saying that the repercussions will start to show. And yes, Arsenal got a 3 point. But I am saying the champions in waiting do not put on this show against Bournemouth at the Emirates.
Kofi believes that Arsenal champions in waiting do not put up performance like this. Before Percy comes in, listen. He talked about the performance yesterday came at a cost. What was the cost? Trossard's injury came even before Arsenal, equalized both goals. So that is a non-starter. That is muted. Players get injured even when you are 10 goals up, 15 goals up. Injuries are part of the game. So that again, that point there is muted. Now, Kofi does not know the mindset of Arteta. I feel in Arteta's mind, however the game went, I'm sure they would have at some point realized that, listen, we probably envisioned that Bournemouth to set up this way. This is how I feel. I feel that tactically, Arsenal are a bit lacking in terms of their inability to find somebody who can play that Nketiah, Gabriel Jesus role. Because yesterday, when you meet teams who set up deep blocks like Bournemouth did, yesterday Bournemouth set up deep blocks of 2. So they played a 4-5-1. 5-4-1, but literally it was like a 5-5-0, however they said it. Antoine Semenyo actually played in defense most of the time. It was Solanke who, together with there was this one African guy, he wore the number 11 jersey. Yes, something. They were the ones, whenever they are on a break, they would initiate the counter attack. And if you watch Arsenal thrive with their wide men. Martinelli, Saka, Odegaard. They alternate with their wide men. So the ability of the wide men to create those spaces for the attackers to score is literally how Arsenal, pride their attack. And so if you watch Arsenal, they've had a lot of touches in the box because these wide men, when they go wide, they try to cut in and try to locate somebody. But because there was nobody playing centrally. Arsenal struggled, and Bournemouth were able to deal with the threat. What's his name? Saka, Martinelli post in practically most of the game. So watch the men who scored the goals: Ben White, Thomas Partey, and who that chap. Because of how Arsenal play and their inability to be able to create when teams set up these deep blocks, when they do not have a central figure with which they will play through. There's no Gabriel Jesus, there's no Nketiah, there's no Trossard because he went off injured. So tactically, there was something missing in that game. But I feel that, listen, no matter what, credit should be given to Arsenal for their ability to, they not reneging on the fact that it's 2-2. Okay, let's do with a draw. Because they knew that a draw would mean that they will literally lead City just 3 points. And that would mean a game, and that's it. What do you make of the game?
For the game, this is the second season that, or the second time that Arsenal has actually scored 3 goals in 90 plus.
That's true.
They've done it 3 times this season.
Yeah.
They've only done it twice in the whole of Premier League. So, like Kofi started, it gives you a fair idea that they were behaving like champions. But
he didn't say that. Kofi says they are not being champions. Will not do that.
Listen,
the champions do not do
if
that.
you listen to him very well, he said that they did it as champions.
I think the producer has given
okay, the matches. So we'll come to that.
Fixtures,
but
so.
like he said,
it doesn't matter if
like
they
he said,
continue on this trajectory.
now with the way they played, now they have a next match. He was talking about the collateral damage that Arsenal put themselves in. They did a very fantastic job. It shows you that the mental fortitude of Arsenal has now been elevated, and now they are not the Arsenal of old that you give them to, and that is it. But their next match, who plays number 9? That's your next question. Because I'm coming. Because now Gabriel Jesus is not fit to start. You have Nketiah off, and now there is also Trossard who is off. So it means that the next match, which is the Europa match this week, how do they alternate? What happens to them? It is obviously a rhetoric. It's a rhetoric. That is the next thing that happens. So now, this is not Arsenal should allow to happen often, because the season actually begins in late March, early April. Because 5 points late is nothing. I gave you an instance that the last time that Arsenal were this close was 2014. I didn't want to go back to 2009. 2014, when Ozil came to Arsenal, that was when they scored arguably the best goal ever scored in the Premier League. When they had about 6 touches, there was Giroud, there was Wilshere. Wilshere scored the goal. In 6, and they were gone. That season, when it was left with 5 matches, Arsenal was leading. But by the end of the season, they were 4th. That was when they had to give the lead to Liverpool, and Liverpool subsequently 2 matches to go, they gave it to City. So at the end of the season, the plans of all pundits that was throughout the season were expecting Arsenal to win had changed. They were now battling for the top 4. But I am not saying that it's the same way. But watching them and watching the whole team, it's like one good thing that is helping them is that they don't have one source of goals coming to them, and they have now transformed into a side that changes their system based on how the game goes. I have seen an Arsenal this season that gets to a time they float in balls. I have seen an Arsenal that sometimes they decide to play a possession. Sometimes they play long. They have scored long range this season from Partey. They've had a lot of in swingers. That you've had Saliba, you had Gabriel finishing it for them, and they've also had working in. And they realized that what you talked about, the double, it wasn't even a 5-4. It got to them was 6. It wasn't 5. It was 6-4.
But they created literally.
Semenyo was a defensive midfielder throughout the game.
From the very first minute they scored the goal.
So if they had gone with their system of possession, they would have just been there around the arc play. They would just be, because they are all in the box. But when they are now integrated the whole system, that whatever it takes, if it has to do that, we will swing in and we would bring our, because Arsenal this season has some new additions to their play. That is, they are capitalizing on the height of their players. One of the things, because if you check their defenders, Gabriel and Saliba,
But they are the only two tallest people in the team.
Partey is not a short player.
No, but they are the only two tallest.
And even if they are two players, they are two tall players. But Partey is not a short player. If you check all of their airball or the goals that they've scored with headers, it is not the attackers who score.
It comes from Saliba and Gabriel.
These are the two players that score. But previously, how often did you even see an Arsenal side bringing in swingers?
So are we discounting the fact that, listen, this performance from Arsenal is worthy of deserving champions? Because it's not necessarily about, because listen, we will see times when games like this would happen.
Of course.
There are 12 more games to go.
Yes.
Games like this will happen. United will face games like this when teams will set up deep blocks to frustrate them. City literally face them
every week.
Almost every week when they come up against these small teams. But if you look at the mentality of this Arsenal team, the ability to come back from 2 goals down, and you put out the numbers, in 2 subsequent games, Arsenal have scored winning goals in the 90th, 3 subsequent games, 90th minute. That should tell you that they play till the end of the whistle. That is the mark of champions.
Yes.
So I think that let's give them the credit.
Of course,
I'm
not, because
and let's not dabble in the fact that it came at a cost, because injuries do happen. It came at a cost, and they have their game against Sporting.
I didn't. Thursday.
They will play Fulham on Sunday. They are playing on
Thursday. So now they are going to the Thursday, Sunday.
Whatever it is, if I were Arteta, and listeners, if you're an Arsenal fan, prioritizing the UEFA Cup or UEFA whatever trophy, and prioritizing winning
one they've not won before,
one they've not won,
and one they've not won in 19 years.
If you were Arteta, come on. If you are Arteta, what would you prioritize, or which one would you prioritize?
Let me ask you this question.
5 points ahead of a City team that is trying to pick up its pieces, back again, because City in their last 8 games have drawn just to 1-6 continuous game, but that's also scary because City can put up 12 games continuous and without dropping a single point. But still, I am 5 points ahead of City. I feel that, yes, Arsenal will go to Anfield, Arsenal will go to City. These are very crucial games. They will play Chelsea at home. They will go to Newcastle. These are tough games. But I still feel that if you are an Arteta, and if you're a manager, which would you prioritize? I would throw the UEFA League somewhere and concentrate on the league, because truth be told, if Arsenal even end up on the 2nd position at the end of the season, Arsenal would have achieved more than a lot of people thought that they, because before the season started, nobody in their wildest dream, guys, unless you want to be funny, nobody in their wildest dream, Arsenal to end up in the top 4.
Let me throw this to you. I'm coming.
You, because we know where you stand.
Let me throw this to you. You were talking about Arsenal trying to let the league go or winning Europe, and I was asking I'm coming. Arsenal has not won any this Europa when it became Europa. The closest they got to, they bottled it.
They don't care.
I'm coming. They've never won it before.
They don't care.
I'm coming. The last time they won the league is 19 years.
Yes.
And stop talking about City. Do you know that City's last Premier League trophies, I'm just going to give 2014. They were third. Those who were contesting for the league was Liverpool and Arsenal. They were not part. I'm coming. They came into the fold. Last 3 games was when City won it. When you talk of the last time Liverpool bottled it, that was in 2019.
Liverpool did not bottle.
I'm coming.
City were very good.
I'm coming.
If you say bottled, it means you give no. Let's put things in perspective. Liverpool did not bottle.
I didn't talk about the last
season.
They
were pipped to it by a better side. They did not bottle it.
I'm trying to say that
the Liverpool fans will get upset.
I'm making a point that as at the time City came to it, City were not even on top for up to 10 weeks. They were not part of those who were actually leading the pack.
But they didn't bottle them.
I'm coming. I am trying to tell you that City being third does not mean that whoever is first, especially Arsenal, they are more likely to win. I'm coming.
We all know what City can do.
I am trying to tell you that 2012 they won.
Let's quickly switch.
I'm coming. 2012 they won first. They won the league. They were not even in the pack. It was United all the way throughout until the last 3 games they came in. 2014 they did the same. 2017-18, that was when Guardiola won the first one. They were leading. 18-19, it was Liverpool all the way until they slipped and they took over. 19-20, Liverpool came in. 2021, so City is not a side that when they are third at this time, you think that you are in a position to win. So you will say that, okay, they are more likely. What is the more likely to win?
But you see,
this is the position they are comfortable at. City, they don't run to you to burn out energy. They are like the Kenyans. They stay behind you. And you lap 1, lap 2, lap 3. If you even check 2021, 2022, City started like 10th. They were 10th. And they won.
Actually, 12 on the league.
They won about 22 straight games. They were at the back. They watch everybody burn out energy. So now, this is the case that look at the way they are struggling to beat. City has a lot. In fact, their war chest is so broad. They are just waiting. Last 5 games. Please give me the fixtures. Give me the fixtures.
Arsenal play last 5 games. Arsenal get to go to.
They
travel to Liverpool.
Last 5 games. Which one is first?
No, Liverpool first.
Arsenal travel to Liverpool.
Yes, they travel to West Ham.
Let me get your City's
Then
last 5
they
games. So we can try and
travel
compare.
to they play Southampton. Then they travel to City. Then they play Chelsea, and in the last game of the season, they traveled to Newcastle.
Now I am telling. Listen, I will be tough. I will speak to City because, like I tell you, City are a marathon team. They don't usually start well. In fact, they stay at the back. They wait for you. I gave you instances. The only time that they led the pack for a very long time was the 17-18 season. That was Guardiola's first season that he won the league. So that was when he won with 100 points.
City's last 5 games. City traveled to Fulham on the 30th of April.
It's a win.
Then they play at home against Leeds on the 6th of May.
It's a win.
Then they go away to Everton on the 13th of May. Then they host Chelsea on the 20th of May. Then they play Brentford away on the 28th of May. These are not so much, easy games because listen, Brentford beat City at the Etihad.
That's fine.
Now, Chelsea, nobody knows the state Chelsea will be in by 20th of May. Let's not kid ourselves. Things would have changed. I'm speaking to the producer who is a Chelsea fan. And they travel away to Everton. Anything can happen. The game that I feel that, listen, is more of a given is at home to Leeds United because Leeds have not beaten them in God knows how long. Then against Fulham away. Fulham are one of the top 6 teams in the Premier League, the informed team in the Premier League now. So, listen, let's not think that, on paper, Arsenal have the most difficult of fixtures. But truth be told, City's games are also not that easy games.
Listen. After watching what Liverpool did to Manchester United tonight.
After watching what Liverpool did to United tonight.
Listen, last 5 games, Arsenal travels to Liverpool.
Liverpool beat them.
I don't know.
I'm
just setting a premise. I'm telling you that.
Give us the scores.
After watching what Liverpool did to United tonight.
Arsenal.
By then, Liverpool would want to play in the Champions League.
Hopefully.
You get me? Liverpool would want to play in the Champions League. So everything will be at stake.
Okay.
Arsenal travel to Anfield. Then they travel to the London Stadium. I do not know if West Ham will be battling relegation there.
West Ham are still battling
relegation. They will throw them down.
They would want to put everything on point. Then Arsenal holds Southampton. Then Arsenal goes to Etihad, the last but one game of the season. All things being equal, it will still be 5 points by 10.
But
they go to Etihad.
Ironically, if it's 3 points, that game will be bloody.
They have not won against them in 11 fixtures.
I'm telling you, in the last but one game of the season, they go to Etihad.
If it's 3 points by then, that game will be bloody.
Game of the season,
they
travel to St. James's
But
Park.
we know Newcastle are gradually dipping in form. They are declining. Let's also admit that. By the time, just as you've given your hypothetical projection, by the time Arsenal gets there, hypothetically, Newcastle would have dropped in form and Arsenal would have beaten them. But let's switch to practically the conversation that a lot of people have been waiting for. So, Manchester United, before they traveled to Anfield, the last time United lost a game was way back in November. That was the last time Manchester United lost a game. The last time they lost by 7-0 was 92 years ago. The Premier League was not probably had not been conceived yet. But in the history of the Premier League, this is arguably United's heaviest defeat, not just at the hands of Liverpool, but in the Premier League. Now, before Ten Hag traveled to Anfield, let me be bold to say he was bluffing that he doesn't care about the size of the pitch, and that the size of the pitch doesn't matter, and anywhere United can play. And in that same interview, he spoke about the influence and the impact of Casemiro in Manchester United and the changes he has brought to Manchester United. He was actually speaking about the Carabao Cup win. Now, prior to this game against Liverpool, United had won the Carabao Cup. Now, let me give you an important statistic. So, a lot of noise have been made about this United form. And truth be told, yes, they are on some good form. But as we say, form is permanent, class is what? Form is temporary, class is permanent. On United's way to winning the Carabao Cup, these are the teams they beat. They beat Charlton Athletic, who are playing in League One, not even in the Championship. They beat. I'm making a point.
I don't see the relevance.
They beat Burnley.
I don't see the relevance.
They beat Newcastle. Then they beat Nottingham Forest. These are the teams that United beat on their way to lifting that trophy. Now, in Ten Hag's season, in his games that he has played away against the top 6 teams, away, he lost against City, he drew against Chelsea, he lost against Arsenal, he has lost against Liverpool heavily. So in all the games that Ten Hag has played against, arguably his rivals in the top 5, he has won just once, he's lost 3 of them and drawn just once. Now, the question here is, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer went 28 games away, setting the Premier League record for unbeaten runs in away games in the history of the Premier League. We chastised Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. We had issues with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Is it time that we critically do not look at the wins that he's chopping up against Southampton, against Leicester City, who are not on form, against Burnley, against Newcastle, who are declining, and critically against a Barcelona side who we know have not prioritized Europe this season and have placed premium on the league because that is what their president has come out to say. And critically look at the performance of Ten Hag against these big sides, especially when they go away. I'll start with Percy. I'll not start with Kofi. Percy, United this afternoon were mauled by 7-0. What happened?
What happened? They played football.
No, what happened?
Why
because
me?
Ten Hag made a lot of noise. I don't know if you watched that interview. He didn't care about the size of the stadium and all of that. People were talking about the nature of Anfield. He said he didn't care. It's football and they'll go there and play their best. Today, he was out-thought tactically. I felt that why would he play Weghorst as a 10 and play, Fernandes as an 8? It limited how Fernandes created spaces and created chances. Tactically, he was out-thought. This was about Liverpool's best game I've seen all season. They pressed well. Fabinho, that we've criticized all throughout of the season, literally pocketed Casemiro and Fred, just one man. Henderson, that Kofi had criticized all throughout the season, literally outshone all the midfielders United can bring. What happened? Have I said anything which is untrue?
Can I continue? Can I start?
No, continue.
Okay. First of all, there is something that we call a bad day in the office when, listen to me.
Please.
When
2-0 is a bad day in the office, not 7-0.
I'm coming. The very fact that a team loses in a very great margin does not mean that everything that the team has done within a time frame is broken or is destroyed.
Are you speaking in relation to United?
I am speaking in relation to a general thing.
No.
United is part.
No.
Don't speak. Can you let me finish?
No.
Can you let me finish?
No, don't speak generally. We are talking about United.
You realize that whenever you ask me something, I can't talk in vacuum. I always bring you comparisons. No. I have to bring
if you compare, it doesn't. It makes
what I'm trying to tell you is that if a team loses, even 10-0, in arguably the team's best season, you don't use one match as a pundit or as a critical thinker instantly to now debunk everything that the team has done within the season. We don't do that.
That's a lazy man.
Okay.
You know, we don't. That is what we call analysis. And I'm coming. Analysis means that you take a trend of things that happens over a period of time.
So give us the analysis.
What I am trying to say is that we have something we call a bad day in the office.
So what happened today?
It's a discrepancy.
What happened today?
I said it's a discrepancy. There are some things that happen to you in life you cannot explain.
So today, United just had a bad day in the
It
office.
is a bad. Listen. There are sometimes things just don't work out. I'm coming. I really want to finish after that. If you want to ask me whatever, it is one of the things that we call a bad day in the office. It happens. This is what we call football. That is what we call this football. Liverpool were in Anfield, where they have never considered even 4-0. They had a Real Madrid come and beat them 6. I'm coming.
Real Madrid.
This Real Madrid also went to Barcelona. Barcelona beat them 1-0. Barcelona, I'm coming.
Apples, no,
I'm coming.
Compare apples
I want you to understand
the La Liga is different from the Champions League.
I am talking about teams meeting. Whether it's La Liga, whether it's whatever.
No, it's different.
Please.
It's different.
Please, it's the same crop of players.
No.
I'm coming. Barcelona also came to meet Manchester United. This is very much. So this is a cycle of 4 teams. Who everybody's beater has been beaten. So which analysis do you draw from it?
You see, where I feel you are making a wrong comparison is, listen, one, you are speaking about in 2 different terrains. The happenings of the La Liga is totally different. The happenings of the Champions League, we spoke about. You are the same person who says when Real Madrid hears the sound of the Champions League, everything changes.
Listen, 2010-2011, Barca and Madrid met 5 Clásicos in a space of about 10 days.
Yep.
We called all of them Clásicos, but there were 2 of them were Champions League.
Yep.
2 of them we had league, and you also had what do you call it, Copa del Rey final.
2 of them are different.
I'm coming. Clásico is Clásico. It doesn't matter whether it's Champions League. What I'm trying to tell you is that you don't sit in the comfort of your place and you say because of one match. You are using it to analyze a whole season. Now I'm coming to what you talk about, Ole and all of that. Listen, I am surprised you talk about and United won Carabao Cup, beating this, that, and that. Let me tell you the team that Brazil beat to win the World Cup. Let me tell you that I'm coming. I won't talk about it.
Do you get where I'm
talking to you about?
Where I'm
going? Tell you with that.
Trying to.
I am trying to say a trophy is a trophy. Listen, don't debunk the fact that a team has won it based on that because of the teams they met. The teams they met, are they not Premier League teams?
But
don't you have Premier League teams?
Relevance is very important.
What is relevance?
Now,
what is relevance?
Listen, we sit here and we are analyzing Arsenal against Birmingham City, and in a way I agreed with Kofi when he said, I'm sure Arteta going into that game would have loved it that Arsenal by the 70th, 60th minute, Arsenal would have gotten the business done because it was against a team that is struggling with relegation, and that's a solid point to make because truth be told, when you come up against Birmingham City, was it Birmingham or Bournemouth at home against Arsenal are on form, you expect that by the 70th minute you have your business done, then you try and relax a little. So Kofi was spot on. In that same manner, we made that analysis. Why can't we also say that in that same manner? Why are you saying that you play against Charlton Athletic, you play against Burnley? Why won't you also say that? You do not say that, oh, okay, a football game is a football game. No, the team you play against is very important because, listen, if on any given day, if you come up against a Liverpool will give you a much sterner test than a Charlton Athletic will. True or false?
You want me to answer?
Yeah.
You asked me a question. I wasn't there and you took it from your mouth and you asked me another one. Can I continue what I was talking about?
Continue.
Thank you very much. What I'm trying to say is that whatever you talked about, it would have been very expedient if you rather analyzed what happened in the game than to take this game and compare it with a trophy they won. Listen,
that's why I'm
coming. You rather lost it. I'm coming. No. You lost it with what you asked me. You were talking. Listen, you lost it when you came in. You were asking about United. If you wanted to talk about United and what has happened, that okay, United over the past games have been winning. What happened in this game?
Pause there. So maybe we'll come back to said, because everybody knows that he is the United proponent and Ten Hag steward on this show. He has clamored. I mean, Ten Hag is a good coach. Nobody can discount that. But today's performance, tactically, like I said, Ten Hag lost the plot. I started on a premise somewhere. But in the end, I asked the question, what happened? You decided to focus on my premise. I wanted to know what happened in the game. You could have just said, okay, that's why I am coming to Set Asiedu. You were loud on Facebook, ranting, raving. They whitewashed Liverpool, beat them. Liverpool are struggling, but people forget that Liverpool were on a 4-game winning run at home before this game. So literally, they were putting up the pieces together. I think that a lot of people underestimated what Liverpool are capable of doing, and today they literally reminded the entire world that listen. We are not out yet. Don't discount out yet, because truth be told, in all their struggles, they had lost quality players in all their struggles. So today, in the game, Kofi, what happened?
Well, I don't know what you want to know, because you
what
spoken
happened?
at length. I'm trying to.
I'm asking a simple question. What happened in the game?
I'm trying to filter out the salient
What
points.
happened in the game?
I think that, listen, you spoke about the fact that I was loud on social media, and obviously I'm a soccer fan. This is the reason why we all do love soccer, I understand. And this is not one of the days, but even if that's why I told you when we began the show, that if you're a soccer fan, and you try to alienate this like this, then you do not understand the basic principles of football. This is why it is called football. And I think this is exactly the point that Percy sought to make. Listen, if you're a football fan, brace yourself for days like these.
Of course.
Listen, going to Anfield, I have never been confident this much like I was today.
That United
were going to go to Anfield.
Why were you that confident?
I was very confident because United were on a good run of form, first of all. Their key players were coming into form on the third day in the process of them being on form.
Yeah.
And I think that if you juxtaposed where Liverpool were in terms of their project at this material time vis-a-vis where United are, obviously, it would only take a madman to suggest that Liverpool were going to beat Manchester United by 7. I'm sure that if the scoreline had come this morning, if a prophet had prophesied this morning that United were going to be beaten by 7, I'm sure he would have been carried out of the temple, because they would have said that he had been possessed by a devil or by a demon. But this is football. Like Percy said, you have a bad day in the office, everything goes south. Everything goes south. I am, you see, you lucky. I think that you need to purge yourself from some thoughts, honestly, because you see, you mentioned the fact that Ole went on a run, whatever. You sit on this same show and tell us Messi is the greatest player to have played the game.
Yeah.
He was part of the 8-2 demolition by Bayern Munich in 90 minutes. So what are you saying? What are you saying?
That they banged the whole
You
season
are
and
coming
everything.
here, you're standing here, debunking Casemiro and the season is that. Yet Messi was part of the disgrace. I do not want to talk about just.
Let me not interrupt. Let me not interrupt. The 2012-2013 that they won the league with 100 points. Barca, they were beaten by the same Bayern Munich 7-0.
I don't want to go
Does it
there.
destroy the whole season?
I don't want to go there. But the point is simple. I think that today United were brought back to reality. And for me, it's a good measure to show Eric Ten Hag that, listen, you are not there yet. I think that this was a humbling effect. I am humbled. Being a Manchester United fan, I am very humbled because we've been brought back to reality. Truth of the matter is that we aspire to get to the levels that the cities are, you understand? But to get to the levels that the cities are, these are games that you learn to hold by the scruff of the neck. And I think that United lost control. First half was pretty much in the balance. I mean, save that Gakpo goal where he virtually had to happen out of nothing. I think that coming out of that dressing room, conceding that goal to when Darwin Núñez had to get the second goal, and subsequently everything fell off. I think that it was simply a bad day in the office. I will not sit here and rubbish all of the things that there's no way you can tell me that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is a better coach than Eric Ten Hag. There's no way you are going to. I am going to allow you to tell me that because Liverpool have beaten Manchester United 7, all of their woes are behind. The truth of the matter is that Liverpool have had a super day, and if you're a football fan, you know that derby games, there's nothing like form. You understand? It's about desire. It's about who wants it the most. It's about hunger. It's about who wants to win the game the most. And it's clear that on the day, Liverpool were the most aggressive. Liverpool were the guys who sought after the win the most. You understand? So if you sit here and tell me that, oh, okay, everything that Ten Hag has been able to do with Manchester, I mean, in that same theory, Ten Hag has beaten all the big boys there is to beat this season at home. It doesn't matter. You do not win the league just winning away games.
Contextually.
You understand? So I am saying that I won't sit here and debunk all of the good work Manchester United have had to do. I mean, indeed, I am happy I have a manager like Eric Ten Hag. Post-match interview, he said that this is unprofessional. This is unacceptable. This is what I want to hear from a Manchester United manager. Because this is unacceptable. I cannot imagine going to work tomorrow and then people will be looking at me, Kofi, I mean, 7. Lucky 7. I mean, how? Yes, this is simply unprofessional. You understand? So, I think there's been a terrible day. There's no hiding from this defeat. And to think that it had to come from Liverpool makes it the more hurting. I am hurt. I'm sitting here. I am more than hurt because I look at somebody like Pius. I look at the things that potentially he could have in his archives for a long time to come. I look at my cousin Lottin Dazi. I look at the things that he could show me for a long time to come. I would say, 7. I mean, listen. I mean, James Bond is wanting to be. They want to replace my Daniel Craig. You don't replace Daniel Craig with Eric Ten Hag. I mean, this is not something that listen. The truth of the matter is that Liverpool deserved the game on the third day. Their best players came to form. I have not seen Mohamed Salah play like this.
I've not seen Darwin Núñez like this.
Season. I am one of the biggest critics of Darwin Núñez by saying that he wiped all of my criticisms with a mop this evening. He shred the Manchester United defense apart. My good friend, the butcher lost his knife. The knife was nowhere to be found. Varane simply did not come to the party. Casemiro did not come to the party. Dalot together with Luke Shaw and David Ye. I think
that talk about West.
Well, and you see, this is another game, Lucky. This is another game where you would have to talk about the fine margins.
You see, that was what
fine margins.
That was what I made mention of in terms of the tactics and how I feel Liverpool in terms of tactically outthought Manchester United or Jurgen Klopp outthought Eric Ten Hag, because listen, a lot of people, and we need to admit, most of us or listeners, viewers, wherever you are doing or watching or listening from, Tadi FM 99.1 FM. We sat here on this show. A lot of people, some of the comments came, Jurgen Klopp is done. I mean, you were one of those people. Jurgen Klopp is done. He should go. Liverpool even castigated Liverpool midfield. And watching this game, he rewind the clock, telling us or showing us this is what he's capable of doing if he has at least even 70% of his players operating at least 80% level. Because truth be told, you spoke about Darwin Núñez. He came to the party today. Mo Salah came to the party today. Gakpo came to the party today. Henderson and Fabinho in midfield were simply unplayable. I mean, I watched one thing Henderson and Fabinho did. Now, what they did was, I've seen this kind of formation being done with Arsenal and at Barcelona. Now, it's what in modern day football they call the box midfield, where your two holding midfielders, the 6 and the 8, would create a box, and they'll be joined by your 8 who will form 2 number 10s in a box form where they control the middle. And they literally run rings around Casemiro and Fred. Because obviously you wouldn't expect Bruno Fernandes to be doing those dirty jobs. So the men that you expected to do the dirty job in Fred and Casemiro, how many times did you see Casemiro intercept? I mean, do the things, I mean, try to link up play very well because of how Liverpool set up. I think that was a smart way of thinking by Jurgen Klopp. We need to give credit to Jordan Henderson, Fabinho, for me, that's why I said they pocketed these 2 players who for me have been, or Casemiro, who has been literally United's best player on the day. We need to admit tactically, Klopp won it on the day.
Well, I agree and disagree. Football has a funny way of playing out. I agree because maybe all your theories have been proven right because Liverpool. I talk about fine margins. See, in a game of this magnitude, the goals can alter the direction of the game. And I think that Gakpo's goal was what changed all of the plan. Listen, before Gakpo's goal, it was a game in the balance. There was nothing like all the theories you're talking about. And you see, footballers.
In terms of play, in terms of everything. Yes, United created best of chances.
I am saying that if
Liverpool
United
were dominating the game in the first half.
I am saying that if United had scored one of those old goals from the chances that they created, we would be singing a different story. Because footballers feed on the energy, they feed on the performances, and this is Anfield. When you get a first goal just before you go into the half break, then 60-70 seconds after the restart, you get that second goal. Anfield is buzzing. You understand? The players feed off the energy. So you talk about Fabinho, you talk about Henderson, you talk about all of the players you have spoken about. They literally fed off that energy because the pendulum had swung in their favor. You understand? So I think that in a game like this, it's about the fine margins, it's about taking your opportunities. And I think that, listen, I won't sit here and criticize Liverpool for all the things that they did wrong previously without not criticizing them necessarily. But the truth of the matter is that in this game, Liverpool created the fine margins and they took advantage of the fine margins and then went on to control the game.
Would you, then again, it fits into the narrative earlier on. We've spoken about mentality because prior to this game, United, this is not the first time United had come back from a goal or 2 down this season. United have proven that, and people were even saying the old United were back because there have been more than 4 occasions in this season or the second half of the season where United have clawed their way back from a goal down, 2 goals down to win the game. So what makes it different from this game? Because we sat here and we spoke about Arsenal's mentality and the fact that they expended a lot of energy. What happened to the United comeback spirit?
Just before Percy comes in, truth of the matter is that if United were going to come back and in a game like this would have been the ultimate test. Make no mistake. Liverpool is the biggest rival of Manchester United, and this game that we saw tonight is the biggest game in the English calendar. Forget about the comebacks against City. I do not rate City. When did City come? You understand? Forget about comebacks against anybody. If there was ever going to be a grand comeback, this was the ultimate. No.
I mean, you sat here the show and you said City were the SI unit, and if United want to get to the level City are now, they would have to play. They will have to play at a certain level.
No, probably
you don't rate it.
No, probably you're not listening to me. Every conversation that we have on this show, we have had the conversation contextually. I am saying that in the last 5-6 years, City has been the SI unit, exactly. and the empirical data is there too.
So why do you not rate them?
I am saying that when we come to the ultimate game, listen, even if Liverpool were demoted to the championship, the biggest game in the English calendar will be Manchester United.
Before we sign out quickly, you spoke about the fact that form doesn't matter. Yes, but truth be told, I think form matters because when Liverpool were on form, they beat United on a 9-goal aggregate. They went to Old Trafford and beat them how many? 5, right? 5-0. came back to Anfield and beat them 4-0. That was a Liverpool team that was on form. They proved that yes, form really mattered. And in the last 5 seasons, when Liverpool have been on form, they've been dominated this Manchester United Liverpool derby. Up until this season, when we all know that United are on form. And like I said, the last time United lost a game was way back in November. That is very, very impressive. You come up against a team that everybody thought were now trying to pick up the pieces. And you see, what made this defeat very annoying and exciting at the same time is this is if they had won by 2-0, it'd have been okay. And Manchester United that is on form have been humbled and humiliated 7-0.
Lucky.
Let me come. That is not on form.
What you said is not something that is actually proven. Listen, the mauling of United has absolutely nothing to do with form. 2008-2009. That was United's 3rd straight league. I'm coming. 3rd straight league. They were mauled at Old Trafford 4-1. That was when Torres. I'm coming. That was when Torres made Vidi get a red card.
If I don't,
I'm coming.
If I don't,
2010, 2011.
If I don't
that was
take
when I'm coming.
If I don't take the comment,
I just want to establish it before.
Don't worry.
2010, 2011, when United won their last but one league. That was when with Suarez, they beat United 3-0. That was a Liverpool team that was playing in Europa because they had not been able to qualify. That was the season that Torres left.
Okay.
So it has nothing to do with form.
All right. So we are running a poll on our page. Will Liverpool make the top 4? Because if you look at the way things are going, listen, Liverpool are looking like, I thought Liverpool would not make the top 4. I think before that we established that Liverpool would not make the top 4 on this show because of how things were going. But the tables have turned. Will Liverpool make the top 4? We want to know your thinking. So lots of comments coming in. Today Liverpool has really disciplined us brutally, and this is coming from Richard Cyrus Odum, and big shout outs to them for a good job done. He's admitting, at a point I realized I was watching Big Brother Titans rather without knowing. I changed the channel. So this is a guy, Atase, Atono. I had to shelve Maps and Sons to open this stream live on my TV, hoping to connect with you guys live these days. So Michael, thank you very much for connecting to us. We appreciate you so much. Ben Johnson says we lost, but we still have more club World Cups than Liverpool. They will never be like us. Go Devils, biggest of England. So Pius says this was never in doubt. Anfield must be feared, and that's the truth. I think that right now, even if you're going to play Liverpool at Anfield in their worst possible day, you need to be scared. Larry says, I'm here now. I want someone to show me around. Are there any rules here? Because I fear I may dirty myself. Lucky and Kofi said, I just don't want to talk. Because if I talk, hell will break loose. Lyrics want to know what you say. Aspire says, Lyrics, feel free and talk. Setasedu, I won't say anything. Don't worry. I will be kind. The Liverpool fans, don't be kind. The level of mauling and trolling Kofi has given to you guys cannot be kind to them. This exhibit says that Weghorst like a statue. Martinez, Varane chemistry goes off. Don't know why. Casemiro unstable. Fred just run. No Eriksen. Bruno from central midfield to right wing and now left wing. What's next? I think it's true. The tactics failed Ten Hag. Playing Bruno as an 8 and Weghorst as a 10 worried them. Luton says, I'm a Liverpool fan and did not expect a 7-0 scoreline. I think United were favourites going into this game, but Liverpool set the tone when the game started with their aggression. That's very, very true. They pressed United very well. They literally disrupted everything United planned. United were shell-shocked after the second goal. Pius, Liverpool have made me super happy today. I just remembered I haven't eaten all day. What a team to support on such a day. What a performance. What a spirit. Hats off to you. Top 4 will be your reward. Michael says, I feel if they exit the UCL, trust Klopp and his team to push all the way to the top four. They have the needed experience and materials to beat Spurs and Newcastle to it. Zongo Media comes back to say, but truth be told, Martinez is a beast of a defender for what happened today. And it's true, Martinez a beast of a defender. But listen, Liverpool were awesome today. And the poll still is running. Do you think Liverpool can make the top four? I feel that with what I've seen, I think I have to change my tune. They have a game in hand, right? Yes, if Liverpool win, they end up being fourth, and that's the most dangerous thing for Spurs fans to actually think. Liverpool, I think they'll make the top four with the way things are going. But what we wanted to talk about the Clasico, but we'll probably shelve that and talk about the Champions League games coming up. But let's touch on the Clasico quickly. What is happening? What is happening with Barcelona, Real Madrid? Barcelona seem to have a foothold in the face of Real Madrid this season. Xavi, for all his issues, has a way to beat in 2 minutes. Has a way to beat Ancelotti and Real Madrid, even at the Bernabeu. In Barca's worst form, had players, their top two players in Lewandowski and Pedri off. So most of their players were off and all of that, but they still went away to beat them a goal to 0 ahead of the return leg at the Santiago Bernabeu. Quick one, Kofi.
Well, I think that it's a case of priorities. I don't think that Real Madrid are prioritizing the competitions that they want to not play in. The Copa del Rey, the league, I don't think that those are the competitions that Real Madrid are looking at. And so not too surprising that they had to let Barcelona come there and do all of the things that they did. I think that's just a clear case of, prioritizing what you want. Real Madrid are not interested in the Copa del Rey. They're interested in the biggest trophies on the land, and the biggest trophy is the Champions League. They have the most trophies domestically. They have the most La Liga titles. Maybe Barcelona has the most Copa del Rey titles.
Maybe they have.
Yes, Real Madrid have not built their reputation seeking for glory in the Copa del Rey. Those are ones for little teams to jubilate over. So I'm not too surprised what Real Madrid are turning their attentions to.
The way little teams, jubilate over little trophies like Carling Cup and all of that, they jubilate and all of that. But quickly, there are big games coming up, this weekend. Quickly, let's look at Chelsea against Dortmund. Chelsea beat Leeds United, and
I'm excited.
You're excited for that the return game. People are gradually beginning to change their tune because they look at that game against Leeds United and they think they saw snippets of what possibly Potter can do. I'm saying club because I'm excited. Would they be eliminated from the Champions League?
Have you been watching Dortmund?
I've been watching. Dortmund are playing some super game. They are on top of the German Bundesliga.
I think
Bayern won yesterday.
Yes, they won yesterday, so they are back on top. Dortmund
are playing some super
football. And
how do you expect that game to go quickly?
I expect them to come to the Stamford
Bridge. In the next 5 minutes, we are checking out. I expect them to
come to Stamford Bridge and then wrap Chelsea on the floor. I do not see how Chelsea are going to stand up to the might of Dortmund.
Would you be surprised if...
even in the game against Leeds United, every Chelsea fan will be the first to admit that in the second half they sat on tenterhooks. The first half was relatively okay. Yes, they had the goal in the second half, but you realize that in the second half they allowed Leeds to grow into the game. And if Leeds were any other team with a lot of quality, they would have punished very much Chelsea. And Dortmund are a team that has that level of quality. If you look at Dortmund and the quality they possess, not just in the midfield but up front, and the varieties they could come up with, I do not expect a coach like Harry Potter. What was his name? Graham Potter. Graham Potter. I am excited because for listeners, the Lakers and Golden State Warriors game is going on. And Golden State Warriors are struggling against the Lakers. The Lakers do not have LeBron James, but they are seemingly doing the job against the Golden State. I am excited. What's his name?
Graham Potter. So how do you see that scoreline? Dortmund against Chelsea.
Dortmund 3. Chelsea 1. Dortmund 3.
But is a given that Dortmund will eliminate Chelsea from the Champions League.
They will.
Percy, The Europa League is coming up. Arsenal against Sporting. We spoke about they prioritizing the league. I feel they should prioritize the league, above the Europa League. But they're coming up against Sporting. They are traveling to Portugal. Sporting are one of the informed teams in Europe currently. And Kofi is of the view that we should watch out for these, Portuguese teams. They might do damage in Europe. How do you expect that game to go? Do you think that Arsenal should rest players because their next game is against Fulham away on Sunday? If they do not, because Fulham are on some good run of form, how do you expect that game to go quickly in the next 60 seconds?
If I were Arteta, like you were saying.
Yes, if you are Arteta.
If I were Arteta, I would prioritize Europa over the league.
So how do you expect that game to go? How should Arsenal approach that game?
You are signing off.
You feel Arsenal will not win the league.
It's not what I feel.
You know Arsenal will not win the league.
No, it's not about I feel. I just told you that City runs a marathon.
Okay, let's not
What
talk
I'm
about
trying
it.
to say
Let's
is
not
that
talk about
I
it.
will approach it like it is Arsenal versus Liverpool.
They should go in all guns blazing.
Listen, there is no promise of tomorrow. There is no promise of tomorrow. Now they are in for only 2. Listen, for everything they are doing, if at the end of the season you don't win anything, it is a failed season. Don't tell me second. Listen, I'm coming. Listen, it is a failed season. For everything they are. Don't say Arsenal came into this season without hopes. Listen, you know how much they bought Gabriel Jesus? You know how much they bought Zinchenko? Do you know what the money they've put into this season? You have to vindicate yourself that sacking Aubameyang and Lacazette was worthwhile. So now, upon all of this, why are we ridiculing Oli? He was second once, third once. He went to the semi-finals of Carabao twice. Europa, he was beaten. You think if he had won one, we will never talk about Ten Hag. So for everything he's doing, listen, he shouldn't let any demon whisper into his ear that he should add more water to the Indomie. You know what I mean? I'm trying to say that. You shouldn't think that Premier League is all there is. Listen, you've not won the league in 19 years, so you don't have any pedigree to win the league. But Europa, at least you've gone to the final in 2018, 2019. So, if I were him, I would go all guns blazing. Because at least for Europa, it is a probability. You might meet the smaller teams till there is. Now there are sports that is relatively either at your level now or lower. So he should go in all guns blazing.
Okay.
There is no promise of tomorrow.
Okay. He believes that Percy believes that Arsenal should go in guns blazing. But prediction, Arsenal Sporting.
Arsenal Sporting. Unfortunately, the ball Sporting is playing. If you want the Portuguese league, I'm expecting Sporting. It's Arsenal playing home or Sporting.
Now Arsenal are traveling away too.
They are traveling away.
Yeah.
I'm expecting the Portuguese guys to come to the party. Maybe a 2-1 win for them.
A 2-1 win for Arsenal. For Sporting.
Yeah.
Manchester United, Real Betis. Quick one, prediction. 30 seconds.
Betis are in trouble.
Betis are in trouble.
Listen. All the things that Liverpool did to us today, the way they did us dirty. I am telling you.
Okay, guys. Listen, we are just about 5 minutes away from checking out from the show. Let me take some comments on YouTube as well. So let's start from here because the comments are plenty. So, okay. Hats off to Lawton and Michael Asaribuedu. This is coming from our very own Kofi. Zogo Media says that Martinez is okay. Yes, I've read this. So Michael says, Kofi Asedu, 7 hearts to you right now. See me at Butasi for something nice from Komfuasi. I don't know where you know what Butasi is. Michael,
Butasi.
Butasi.
You went to GSS and don't know Butasi.
I know
this is Butasi.
Michael Fachemi, Larry says that. But what's wrong with Kofi? I actually saw when he was analyzing his tone, his everything was that. Listen, what's wrong with Kofi? Can't he talk again? Someone should please ask him which club will win the Premier League. The M word again and again. Which club will win the Premier League?
City.
Percy, which club will win the Premier League?
City.
For me, I believe Arsenal will win the Premier League.
It's not about you believing. Which club will win the Premier League?
Arsenal will win the Premier
That's
League.
fine.
Why should I told the same lies?
Put your reputation
Arsenal will
on
win.
the line.
Yes, I have my
I-
reputation on the line. Trust Chelsea to knock Dortmund out. This is coming from Lewis. Lewis believe that Dortmund will knock Chelsea out. I don't know. Do you have any WhatsApp
Yes,
messages?
I have.
Yes, so let's go through the WhatsApp messages from our listeners on Tadi FM 99.1 FM.
Okay, I have this guy. Okay, he says Kofi, he didn't bring his name. He said, Kofi, when did you say you are coming back on radio? He didn't really add his name.
But I'm back on radio.
And this one,
you guys are listening to him already.
99.1 is radio.
We have more packages for you.
and this one didn't add his name, but I think this is the message of the day. He said in France, that's with the French flag, he's counting 1 to 7. He said, un, deux, trois, quatre, cinq, six, sept. In the Spanish, he wrote uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis, siete.
Take him off.
Then in German,
Who knows where this
then in
message is coming
German,
from?
and it is why drive, yeah, phone, sex. I don't even know what I'm saying. In Brazilian,
Oh, my Portuguese. That's
in Portuguese, it is mula.
Thomas
Closer. Cruz. Kedira. Shella and Shella. And in English, it is Gapo. Nunes. Gapo. Salah. Nunes. Salah and Firmino.
We are no longer going to be counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. When you meet a United fan,
I love them,
it
the
is
Brazilian.
Salah, Nunes. He greets them according to the goal scorers. Guys, it's been an interesting show. We've had fun. Listen, why should I take them off? Let me take some messages here also. Larry says that, and Lucky, please, United fans, they are making the show boring. At Chelsea and Arsenal fans, maybe Liverpool fans. Okay, so maybe, just maybe, I think that what we might one day do is to call these United or Chelsea fans, but we've had an interesting show this evening. And let me go back to the poll. So the poll says, will Liverpool make the top 4? And 69% actually believe that yes, Liverpool will make the top 4. 30% actually believe that no, Liverpool will not make the top 4. Before we sign out, will Liverpool make the top 4?
Well, I think they seem to be a team on form. If you consider the form of Newcastle and Tottenham, which teams are very inconsistent.
Yeah.
I think with this sort of momentum,
They will make the
Liverpool
top
might
4.
just make the
Percy,
top 4.
will they make the top 4?
I still think the top 4 is fixed. I think it's fixed. For everything that Tottenham is doing, I don't think they will relinquish the 4th position. They can do all they want. They are just...
So Liverpool are not making the top 4?
No.
But guys, what's more important that please subscribe to Sport 101 and make sure you send a link to your friends whenever we come live and tell them to subscribe. It's very, very important. And hit the subscribe button.
And just before we sign off, shout outs to the guys at TTU.
Yeah. To the guys at TTU.
We have some wonderful videos.
Enzima Mesa Hall,
Gassem
Hall. You guys are amazing. Listen, we've literally become friends and partners of the show. Expect us there very, very soon again. But guys, we love you so much. It's been an amazing show on Sports 101. We're live on Tadi FM 99.1 FM. As always, we are live on YouTube, Sports 101. I did the show today with Kofi Asieru and Percy Bonnie. We'll hopefully catch us up again the same time, 7 o'clock in the evening tonight. We'll bring you the best sporting show ever you can think of.